Before we can start decorating our gingerbread houses, we need to make the royal icing, the glue that's going to stick them all together. Now, you can use raw egg whites. It's kind of like, royal icing's like a meringue, but I get a little nervous about using raw egg whites, and heating it up over a double boiler is just more work than I really want to do, when you can just buy meringue powder. You can get this at any craft store, Michael's, Joann's. You don't have to buy a whole pound of it. It comes in smaller containers. And you mix that with your sugar, a little water. You can put in like a little vanilla or a little lemon juice instead of water if you want to add that flavor, but for gingerbread houses, it's not usually necessary. You can also add a little cream of tartar, which helps stabilize the icing. So it's really easy to make royal icing. You are going to take a tablespoon and a half of the meringue powder, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and then 3 tablespoons of water. You don't need very much water. It looks like it's not enough, and you can add more if you need it, but start out like this. Now you gotta add the air, you gotta fluff it up, so you really need to run the motor for like 3 to 5 minutes with a hand mixer or with a stand mixer. Again, you can do it by hand, but your arm's gonna fall off. So I'm just gonna get this going and we'll check back in. Okay, so that's been going for about 3 minutes. And if you look at it now, you can see that it's much smoother and it's fluffed up and it's holding on to the paddle there. If it's too thick, you want to make sure that you can use an icing bag or spread it at least a little bit. You can always add a little bit more water. And you want to add this in little teeny increments, maybe, a half a teaspoon at a time. So you can see that half a teaspoon was not much water in there at all. Let me get this off. Has made that a little bit smoother. You can see it's starting to drop off. So if you wanted it a little thinner, you would add another half a teaspoon at a time and just keep going till it's the consistency that you want. Royal icing starts to harden and get a crust on it almost immediately. So in order to keep that from happening, I dampen some paper towels, squeeze all the water out, and then make them a nice layer right on top of the icing. You can see I've got everything nice and covered. There's no air bubbles. Okay, ready to put our house together and decorate. So I've got my royal icing, which I had covered. I personally find it easier to use an icing bag. You can buy these at any craft store, and you want to start, just cut a little teeny bit off the end. It can always get bigger, but it can't get smaller. So the best way to control an icing bag is to twist the end. So here's the tip, here's the end, and we're making a twist. And now I'm holding that right there in the crook of my thumb. Can you see that? And that way I'm squeezing with this hand and I'm controlling the bag with this hand. Again, I'm doing it now in my right hand, holding it tight in my thumb, squeezing at the top, so it all goes out the bottom and not out the top. You can use like a rubber band or a clip to hold that tight. It's hard for the kids. They want to squeeze from the middle. So royal icing, as I said, it's nice and sticky. And the best way is you're going to make 2 lines. Can you see that? You can't even see that. For some reason, my mic went out here, but I'm trying to show you how to make the first corner. To start building your house, you're going to make 2 lines of icing at right angles to each other. And then you just take a piece of your graham cracker, gingerbread, put the other piece in at right angles to it. It practically stays up even when I turn the plate. And then you connect those together with a line of icing to make a nice, secure corner for yourself. Here you go. Doing the same thing on the other side. I've got my 2 lines, breaking my gingerbread, and then icing. Don't be afraid to use tons of icing. Icing is your friend. You want everything to be nice and glued. So now it's going to look like this for now. We need a little roof. Easiest thing to do is to take a whole piece of graham cracker and place it like that with overhang. Showing you again. And then you make the point. And that just gives it a little more to balance on, makes it a little more secure. At this point, you really want to let the house set up if possible, and before you start decorating it. And I know that's very hard for kids, so usually at this point I try and convince them that they need to decorate their garden. They need to make a path. We just put lots and lots of icing all around, and then gets the fun part. Okay, so there we got a little gingerbread house, a little door, a little path. Pretty much this is what your kids are going to look like too. I'm not an expert gingerbread house decorator, but I don't think that is the fun of gingerbread house making. I think it's about being colorful and covered in icing. So I hope that you guys try this at home, and please send us pictures and we will post them of your gingerbread creations. Happy holidays.